live stream, and today I'm doing a live stream outside, so who knows what can happen. But the subject of this live stream is that I'm glad that the Nintendo Switch isn't backwards compatible with the Nintendo DS and a 3DS. Now, that may sound like a very odd thing to say, because I'm a big fan of the DS and the 3DS, and a lot of the reason I didn't upgrade to the Switch was because it wasn't backward compatible, and it meant I couldn't play my games, and I really had horrible feelings towards the Nintendo Switch for a long time because it didn't offer backward compatibility. And it would have been so easy to do, just to stick a second cart slot in the side of the Switch, which could take DS and 3DS games, and in some ways it would have been fantastic. Just think of all the games, that huge collection of DS and 3DS games that you could play alongside your Switch. I mean, the Switch is a touchscreen device, so all you really would do would be to turn it on its side and play it that way, although that would have made it very awkward on a Switch like. But I'm sure there would have been a way that Nintendo could have built in backward compatibility with can't see me, with DS and 3DS games, and brought that huge selection of games, but they didn't. And actually, I'm quite glad, because I think Nintendo needed to break away from that DS, 3DS line. I mean, they ran it for quite some time. Don't get me wrong, it is a fantastic platform, but they needed to draw a line. They needed to draw a line under the DS, 3DS, as well as the Wii and the Wii U, and start kind of afresh. And I think most people would have been focused on backward compatibility as a main point. And it was a bad thing. It would have detracted from what the Switch was, a brand new, fairly high-powered console for Nintendo, with all these whizzy features. You can use it portable, you can use it on your telly. Although, can you imagine DS games in dock mode? That would have been fantastic. I do apologise that you can't actually see me, but that's the thing about doing live videos outside, I suppose. It would have been great to see DS games on a TV. And then, I mean, you can get some, I think you can anyway, some DS games via the Nintendo Switch online service. I know you can get Game Boy games and Cube games and things like that. More retro games, but I don't know if the DS is part of their online service thing. So yeah, I didn't buy a Switch for a very long time because I was such a big fan of the DS and the 3DS, and it really annoyed me that they didn't offer backward compatibility. I only really got into the Switch about 6 months ago, probably not even that. Bought my Switch Lite, absolutely love it, and I like the game selection that's on it. I like the power, I like everything that you can get on it, and I haven't touched my DS since, which I feel a little bit sad for, but it has drawn a line. The DS is great, the 3DS is great, they've had their time, they've had their limelight, and it's now time for the Switch to push its features and push its gaming, and not be dragged down by, games that ran on a 66 megahertz machine with pretty appalling graphics, shall we say. And the Switch has quite stunning graphics for what it is. Obviously, it can run some PS3, PS4 games, so it's decent. And I think Nintendo did make the right decision in not offering backward compatibility. It's still a shame that you can't play a lot of your games. Nobody really likes to carry around lots of consoles. It's some of the reason I mod most of my consoles, so that I can play multiple systems on one device. But you can't do that with a Switch, especially a Switch Lite. So I have kind of drawn a line under the whole DS, 3DS system. I mean, I do play my DS occasionally. I've got a DSi XL modded, so I can play other systems on it. But I can also play my games on it, and it is the best way to play games. And I think, yes, it was the best decision for Nintendo to just end an era and not have backward compatibility, not build in a cart slot so that you could stick your DS cartridges in a Switch. Part of me would still like it, but there comes a point where a games company has to say, no, that's it. That's the end of that platform. And while people like Microsoft, they build in backwards compatibility, it's a great thing. I don't think it's hurt sales, although the Series X isn't doing fantastically well. Backwards compatibility is great. It's a novel thing. I mean, you had it with the DS, that could play Game Boy Advance games. You had it with the 3DS, because that could play DS games. And it was a huge selling point. So I think it's a really awkward one. On the whole, I think Nintendo made the right decision not making the Switch backward compatible with the 3DS and the DS. And I suppose they could bring DS games via their online service. Let me know if they have, because I haven't really checked that out. I don't do that much online gaming. I don't have a Nintendo Switch subscription. So yeah, just let me know if I am wrong on that one. Have they brought out some DS games on the Switch? But anyway, that's about it for this video. Someone who was such a fan of the DS and the 3DS platform, you might find it a little odd that I am not a fan of backward compatibility. Well, I am a fan of it, but I think it was the right decision for Nintendo to not offer it with the Switch. A whole new platform, a whole new era of gaming, and well, the Switch has done phenomenally. So that's about it. Let me know what you think. Am I right? Should they have ditched backward compatibility by not adding a slot in so you can play your DS games, or should they have done? Link, like, subscribe, enjoy.